As we continue to learn about Earth's moving plates, let's think about how the structure of the next article is written. As we continue to learn about Earth's moving plates, let's think about how the structure of the next article is written.
I'm going to try to do three things all at the same time.
Do you think it is problem and solution, cause and effect, description, sequential or chronological, or compare and contrast?
Woo! Watch the screen.
Okay, let's look at the article, The Ring of Fire. The first thing we're going to do is look at the vocabulary. On the left, the first word we have is occur, to blank a certain place or time. And the definition would be to happen in a certain place or time. If something occurs, it happens during that time. The word destructive means to cause damage to people or things. If you are destructive, you are causing damage. If a storm is destructive, it is causing damage to the building or the houses. Now, let's look at the key questions on the right, and we're going to highlight the important words in the question to help us as we begin to read. What kinds of disasters happen near the Ring of Fire? So as we read, we want to think about the important parts of the question. So we want to know about the disasters near the Ring of Fire. So make sure you highlight that. The other question is, what do the earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcano eruptions described in the text have in common? So here we want to know what's in common with the earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcano eruptions. So please make sure you highlight those words. Now remember, as we read, we are going to try to identify what kind of text structure this article is written in, how the author sets up the writing so that we can better understand the information. So we'll start with the Ring of Fire. If you first notice the map that's on the page, it shows us up here at the top. We will see that this Ring of Fire right here, this is the plate that goes around this, the Pacific plate that travels around from South America to North America through Asia, down here, and this is Japan and Indonesia, and down through Australia. And this is the area where most of the faults occur. So it says here, what does the west coast of the United States have in common with Japan, Indonesia, and Chile? They are all part of the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is an area around the edge of the Pacific Ocean where there are many faults. As a result, the Ring of Fire has more active volcanoes than anywhere on Earth. It is also where 90% of earthquakes occur, which means tsunamis often happen there too. Now, if we take a look down here at the bottom, we have our graph that shows us how do we measure an earthquake. Now, if you notice, it says here a 3. If an earthquake measures a 3, it's not going to move the building that much. There's not going to be much that you can feel. But if it goes anywhere up from a 5 or more, a 5, 6, 7, 8, a 9, a 9 earthquake will topple down buildings, and this, from this point on, is where you're going to find most of your destruction. Okay? Now let's answer our key idea question. What kinds of disasters happen near the Ring of Fire? Now, we can find that answer in paragraph 1, where it states that the Ring of Fire has more active volcanoes than anywhere on the Earth, and that is because this is the area where there are many faults. At this time, you can stop the video and write a complete sentence by restating the question and using the information that we just underlined in paragraph 1. Now let's continue on page 233. Here are some of the worst natural disasters to ever happen in this dangerous zone. April 10th, 1815, Sumbawa, Indonesia. The eruption of Mount Tambora was one of the worst on record. The gas and ash it released blocked the sun. It caused months of extreme weather. Places as far away as North America had snowfall in summer. So I wanted to show you that. If I'm taking a look at, it said that it happened in Indonesia, which was right down here. and they had bad weather and blocked sun all the way up here in North America. That's quite a distance. The second one, April 18th, 1906, San Francisco, the United States. This magnitude 7.8 earthquake was one of the worst disasters to ever occur in the United States. It happened along the San Andreas Fault in California. The earthquake was destructive. It also caused terrible fires. Over 80% of San Francisco was destroyed. February 27th, 2010, Chile, South America. About 80% of Chile's population felt this magnitude 8.8 earthquake. The shaking lasted for 3 minutes. The tsunami that followed destroyed towns along Chile's coast. The wave even reached Japan and the United States. So again, let's take a look at our map. And this occurred down in Chile, right down here at number 3. And the waves went as far as way up here in Japan. That's quite a distance. I think when we checked, it was over 10,000 miles. All right, March 11th, 2011. This magnitude 9 earthquake in Japan triggered a giant tsunami that caused tremendous destruction. Entire villages were swept away. Hundreds and thousands of people were left homeless. With every disaster, scientists learn more about quakes, tsunamis, and volcanoes. Now seismologists observe faults before, during, and after earthquakes. They collect information that helps them predict how faults might act in the future and when the next disaster might occur. All right, now if we're looking at the comparing events, we see that earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcano eruptions have something in common in this section here. We'll notice that if I look at the earthquakes, it said it was a 7.8 right there. And then I noticed that the Chile earthquake was an 8.8. So that was another high one. So let's see, the 7.8. We have the 8.8. And then I look down here to the 9 earthquake. So one thing I know they have in common is that they were both very high on this scale down here. So they showed very high on this scale. The other thing that I notice is that the earthquakes also caused a lot of damage. It said here that it was very destructive. It said down here that it destroyed towns along the Chile's coast, and here it was tremendous destruction. So I'm noting some common things between the earthquakes, the tsunamis, and the volcanoes. So now you can go ahead and answer the question at the bottom using the information that we just highlighted on page 233. So you can stop the video now and answer those questions.
Doing well. Actually, people come.
Please rewatch the video if you need help answering the questions.